Hello and welcome everyone for the third time this evening. Hopefully this isn't lagging. We'll find out in the next couple of seconds. But apologies about that, everyone. If it's all good, happy days. But if you are new around here, and hopefully some future in uninterrupted, shocking hamster Wi-Fi videos. If you want that, hit that subscribe button down below anyway, because I think my video might load probably next year anyway. But yeah, it's only going to be a little short episode, everyone. We're going to speak about, obviously, our two Scouser and well, he's more or less a Scouser anyway, even though he's our Southern Scouser, but he is very much a Scouser at heart anyway. But yeah, I'm absolutely beaming ear to ear for these two lads, and I know every single one of you are first and foremost. I know a lot of us don't really care about England, but what we all cared about is the happiness of our players, and very much so the accolades in which they do collect, whether that be internationally, individually as well. Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. Oh, well, we've got a chocker show to speak about it anyway. But I am absolutely made up, chat. We'll find out if the video is lagging. Big up there. How are we, Panov? A massive thank you, Panov, and to everyone that has tuned in over the last. Well, I've previously started 2 streams earlier, but apologies about that, mate. A massive thank you for popping in. Great to see the notifications are actually working, and it's live again and again. Big up there, Doug, as well. Thought it was my computer. Sorry there, Matthias. I really do apologise, mate. No, just my shocking Wi-Fi. All good. But yeah, how are we, mate? How are we, chat? In terms of, obviously, did anyone watch the under-21 tournament anyway? I've got to be honest, I've only watched glimpses anyway of this tournament and judged off what obviously all the top journalists or people on Twitter have been very much saying anyway about these two lads. But I did watch the final, and obviously Curtis Jones. We'll get straight into a chat anyway. But firstly, we'll quickly mention obviously Edwin van der Sar. Thoughts and prayers are with his family at this difficult moment in time. A legend of the game that he was anyway. Yes, he was a Manchester United goalkeeper, but that doesn't mean nothing. We, the footballing family, send our love and prayers to Edwin and his family at this difficult moment. Obviously, Ajax tweeting last night, we got the sad news. Edwin van der Sar will remain in intensive care for the big time being. His condition is stable, but still concerning. Ajax shares the information on behalf of Edwin's wife as well. The Edwin van der Sar family, along with Ajax, is grateful and deeply touched by many messages of support. Edwin, you never walk alone, mate. Obviously, it's a difficult moment. It can change very rapidly, but hopefully it changes for the better and he's on the road to recovery. But everyone just think about him this evening anyway. But yeah, what a goalkeeper anyway. But thoughts with his family, and we're all thinking of Edwin's family at this difficult moment, in which it is massively as well. But let's get to everyone's comments as well. Kurt and Harvey will get plenty of game time. That they will. Gary, absolutely spot on there, mate. No, didn't see any of it. Oh, good, mate. That penalty in extra time nearly wrecked me. Matthias, yes. It wasn't, for me, Matthias, it wasn't very much a penalty. It was very soft penalty, in all honesty. I can see why the referee give it from a technicality point of view, in terms of technically, but yeah, far too many players in the modern era of football just go down far too easy, in my honest opinion. Obviously, Redbeard, he hasn't passed at this moment in time, mate. Obviously, he's in intensive care anyway. But I don't know if it could change very drastically, as I said. But let me know, chat, before I come on here. Obviously, thinking of the family as well. Obviously, he's still currently alive. I think so anyway. I'll make sure to check on that. But thoughts and prayers go to his family at this difficult moment in time as well. But yeah, Redbeard was a great double save at the end in terms of obviously the new signing for Burnley anyway. Was it 10, 15 million anyway? Very, very talented goalkeeper by the looks of it anyway. I'd say just the Manchester City Academy as a whole, it is probably one of the best in European football anyway. But big up there, Paul. Great to see you in the chat, mate. I've always thought that Curtis could be one of the best players in the Premier League ever. Big shout there, Paul. And tell you what, if you put that on Twitter, mate, you'd have quite a bit of responses anyway, mate. But yeah, he's a very talented player, Paul, and that's what he is, mate. Like, he divides the fan base, which is everyone's entitled to their own opinions anyway. But my opinion on Curtis has been very much over the last couple of years, get behind him, because if he wasn't any good, we've seen the likes of Conor Randall, we've seen Flanagan's disappear, we've seen Martin Kelly's disappeared as well, Scousers or just young talented players. Ryan Brewster disappeared, really. Obviously went to Sheffield Wednesday, United, or wherever he went to anyway. But Curtis Jones is still here. Like, and it's ridiculous. He's an extremely talented player. And I was saying this to the lads before we come on air, Paul. If he was called Curtisinho or Spanish or Portuguese, or everyone's social media in the modern era would be waxing lyrical, and they'd be creating highlight reels of just how much of a talented player this is. People might go, and people are even discrediting the goal. Yes, it come off his backside or whatever part of the body it did this evening when I was watching it. But what you can't take away, a man in a match performance in a European under-21 final as well. As I said, it's let them hate. But what Liverpool fans, every single one of us do, everyone around the world, we get behind our players. Of course, we'll critique them here and there as well. I have done in the past, and mainly when I've said about Curtis over the last couple of years, I want more from him because I know he's very capable of performing at the highest level, and we've very much seen glimpses of that at the back end of the season, where he was given a consistent run of games to perform, and that he did as well. That bloody double against Leicester, the back end of the season, I think it was the second goal. That technical ability to very much bring it up and just whack it in the back of the net. It was an extremely difficult chance to put away, and that's what he did. But I'll tell you what, chat, I think what we all can appreciate is how much of a talented, how both of them are very much talented individuals that very much, if they weren't at Liverpool, everyone on social media would very much be clamouring, going, oh, we need to sign these lads. We need to sign them, get them into the football club. There was a certain, obviously, I've done news shows, and when we spoke about the rumours and whatnot over the last couple of weeks, Gabri Veiga, obviously a Celta Vigo midfielder who's quite rightfully off the back of a breakthrough season, first and foremost, in La Liga last year. But he was cast aside very much so by Curtis Jones. I'll tell you what now, if they weren't Liverpool players, the whole of social media will be very much saying, sign these two players, sign them, sign them, sign them, sign them. But yeah, all of those England players tonight, this evening, he matured. The Caldwell, obviously, apologies on pronunciation, the young lad from obviously Chelsea, he's on loan at Brighton last season as well. We've been linked with in the last couple of weeks anyway. I don't think there's much too concrete in it. If you only have to look at Harvey Elliott's social media account this week, doing what we've done with Jude Bellingham, but we don't want to be doing that all again. We've already been done once, getting caught up in the emotions of potential transfers with like Jude, and we went to Real Madrid. We got turned down by him anyway. But yeah, Caldwell, he's a very talented player. I'd be very surprised if Chelsea sell him, because I think he's exactly what Chelsea Football Club need, first and foremost, and that's a solid centre-half. They just lost Koulibaly. I know we all know he was terrible in the Premier League, really didn't adapt from Serie A. Thiago Silva, what is he, 36, 37, 38? Talented centre-half, but he's getting on now as well, and yeah, you haven't had a out-and-out. I grew up watching the likes of Carvalho, obviously the Portuguese centre-half, and John Terry playing as a pair. And what a partnership that was at the back for Chelsea. But Caldwell, if, massive word is if, he gets an opportunity at Chelsea, I think he can very much take it upon himself to nail down a first team opportunity. But it just depends where Chelsea's aspirations as a football club, and in terms of their financial point of view as well, you're looking at what, 50 to 70 million pounds you could very much get for Caldwell at the back. Whether they wanted to invest that into other areas of the pitch, time will tell. But it won't be cheap to get him out of Chelsea, as we all know. But he's certainly one that would tick a load of boxes obviously being homegrown under 21 as well. And given his young youth and given how well in glimpses he did show for Brighton, not a name that I would have said that Liverpool should be going after in terms of centre-back areas, but I think people just getting 2 and 2 and getting 4 or 5 or whatnot and very much drawing the conclusions. He's a left-footed centre-half, plays on the left side of a defence as well, Brighton, but time will tell. If we did get him, hugely talented centre-half. And he's very versatile as well, as we know. But let's get to everyone's comments as well, first and foremost. I just caught you saying, all right, no worries, mate. All good. Actually, Matthias, Curtis Jones had another major chance to score a goal, but the Spanish keeper saved it. Good keeper as well. Yeah, it was a lot of talent on show within that tournament as well, Matthias. Big up Red Bear was going to say, yeah. Edwin Van der Sar will remain in hospital tonight and will be looked over and was still in a stable condition and is in intensive care at the minute. Thank you, Doug, for that update. Obviously, sad news for with Edwin. It's not even haters, really. Everyone's entitled to their opinions as well, especially when I've done YouTube for the last, I think I've got a reminder, I've been on YouTube for 6 years. Yeah, but I love it. As I said, like, if you respect everyone's opinions, I always respect everyone's opinions. Like, bloody hell, I love Ricky if you watch him, mate. But obviously, he's very staunched FSG out, and I'm FSG out. But it's all about modern day respect as well, in terms of just that's the beauty. If everyone said the same opinion, you'd be like, you wouldn't go anywhere, especially on YouTube, which is in life in general. But yeah, it's like, if you like Curtis Jones, if you don't dislike him as well. But what all of us Liverpool fans, which we all do, is get behind our players when it comes to match day as well. We want the best out of them. Of course, they can improve. 22 years old. Elliott's 20, just turned 20 years old as well. So hugely talented players. And obviously with Elliott, with his injuries, Curtis with his injuries last season, I'd say it even stinted their development in terms of by 6-12 months as well. You look at Elliott's injury, a shocking injury against Leeds a couple of years ago anyway. And for that regards, even if it was a 27-year-old senior international, that would have took a lot out of him, really. Not just from a physical point of view as well, but in terms of his mental capacity, in terms of dealing with that as well. But obviously, Elliott, for what, 2, 3, 4... like the first 3 months of the season was Liverpool's player of the season. And that said a lot at the time when he was 19. That says a lot about his personality and fundamentally about his footballing quality as well. I think Jurgen Klopp done well in terms of taking him out the limelight. He done well. We don't want to be running Elliott or Jones, for that matter, into the ground, do we? In all honesty, similar with Ibu Konate. I know we've signed him from RB Leipzig as well. But yeah, we don't want to be running into him into the ground, given the injuries in which he did suffer against, was it Montpellier? Not Montpellier. Oh, it was Strasbourg. That was it. I was actually at that game last season. But yeah, time's the biggest teller in football as well. It's the more as we progress season upon season, not just for Liverpool fans, but for every football fan, everyone just wants instant success as well. But that's it. That is not always. Unless like a club like Real Madrid or a Manchester City as well. Of course, we want to be seeing Liverpool winning leagues and Everton, really, but it's not going to happen straight away. It's about building those strong foundations and building blocks, really, to very much to get where you want to be as a football club anyway. But yeah, there we go, mate. Curtis was very much man of the match early in the tournament, but I don't know yet who got the man of the match in the final. Will probably James Trafford, because he saved the penalty. Yeah, Messiah, it was a very good save, as you alluded to before, mate, in chat. A double save. And as I said on the previous stream, I think it was a very soft penalty, but I can understand from a technical point of view why the referee very much did give it. Jones is a great player, still a young player, plus he's a scouser playing for Liverpool. He has that added pressure, but he is showing signs that he will be a very good player. 100% there, Shay. I think a lot of people do forget, and by no means I'm not comparing the players. But when you look at Carragher, when you look at, obviously, Steven Gerrard, when they broke in at the age of 22, you were good, but I think you'd be very hard pressed in terms of when you do look back on football. Apart from Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, who are the top two youngsters in world football, will be for the next 10, 15 years anyway, if they stay fit in there. But it's extremely difficult. You look at, obviously, the young lad at Manchester City as well, who's completely gone out my head, not Cole Palmer, who obviously did play tonight, very talented midfielder as well. Foden, that was it, bloody hell. We've spoken on countless occasions, chat, haven't we? How he's been utilised by Pep Guardiola. Phil Foden's a tremendous footballer, but Pep's not 100% playing him in every single game anyway. He's using him sparingly in certain situations. I always go back to that Rashford situation, burst onto the scene at Manchester United, and he's absolutely been destroyed, mainly due to his injuries as well. It's disappointing. Exactly where is Curtis Jones from Toxteth? I think so, Matthias. Chat, you'll let me know anyway. Let's have a quick look. I'll have a quick look in a sec. But I think it might be potentially Matthias, not 100% on that, mate. But it's looking bright. It is, Gary. As I said, we are back to full fitness, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks. And we don't get any injuries. That's the main priority, that we want to stay away from injuries. We want to go into this new season in the next couple of weeks and attack it as quick and as good and viciously as much as possible anyway, because we all spoke about that last season, chat, didn't we, in relation to the sloppiness, the slow, lethargic start to the Premier League campaign last season. We can't really allow ourselves to do that, because given how good City have been in terms of the last couple of seasons, you look at Arsenal. Didn't Arsenal lose the first 3 or a couple of games at the beginning of last season? And you look how important that was in terms of the end of the season. So, yeah, you can't really give City any jump start, really, in terms of a title challenge. Clean sheets, all comes great achievement. That's all there. Caldwell ignored Madueke when he went live on his Insta when he was bringing Caldwell back to Chelsea by the looks of it. Levi didn't even respond to it. Plus, there's a pic of Caldwell on a Liverpool shirt. Yeah, if you go back, Andrew, you'll find a lot of players in, like, bloody hell. If you go back, there was it Trent in an Everton kit? Harry Kane in an Arsenal shirt as well. Yeah, so if you do your digging in terms of, obviously, I don't know where people get these pictures from anyway, in terms of social media, but there's players in rival kits. It doesn't really matter, unless you're a staunched out and out like Scouser. Anyway, I think there's pictures of Gerrard. I don't even know. Is it pictures of Gerrard in an Everton kit or whatnot? That does the rounds every single bloody derby for some weird reason. But yeah, I wouldn't pay too much attention for it, Andrew. I think Levi, I think he'll stay at Chelsea, as I said at the top of the show. I don't anticipate him leaving unless a monster bid did come from one of the big clubs in Europe or in the Premier League anyway. When he was a kid, definitely. Jones and Elliott, having the experience for the last seasons behind them, are only going to get better for the coming season. I know some people are crying out for more midfield signings when we have, obviously, in relation to those two players, these young lads as well. Yeah, it's tremendous talents, Shay. And I think when we've watched Elliott, as I said before, top of the show, in relation to Elliott playing well at the beginning of the season, and then he just fizzled out. I think it was due to just a bit of fatigue, really, given how much he's played, and still he's only 20 years old. But yeah, if we didn't have these two lads at our football club, everyone would be crying out for Liverpool, sign them, 70, 80 million, 100, whatever it takes, sign them. But we're very fortunate that these two lads do play for Liverpool Football Club, and they've got a very bright future, first and foremost. And I'm excited to really see where this future does hold, because when you look at it, say what we say in chat in terms of, if we do go with the 3-2-2-3 formation, we've seen Jones at the back end of last season playing that bit more advanced central midfield role. Obviously, chipped in with quite a lot of goals at the back end of the season. That's one element of this game that very much the Liverpool Academy and a lot of the Liverpool fans that did watch the under-21s and the younger age category when Jones was coming through, that's very much an asset to his game that he can very much thrive. Everyone harps back to that great goal in which he did get against Everton in terms it was the FA Cup anyway. That just showed his technical ability from outside the penalty area. He's certainly got that in abundance. And especially if you get, what are we saying, chat? I tell you what, imagine if we did have a season where Curtis Jones, he made it his breakout season fully. Obviously, we know how good he did play the back end of the season. But if you could get 10 goals or even 10 goal contributions from a young lad, that would be quite good considering. And then you look at to add to Szoboszlai's total, you look at McAllister as well. If both of them can chip in as well. Trent from the 6th role, Fabinho even though Fabinho over the last couple of seasons, it was that one season where he went absolutely mental in terms of scoring goals for Liverpool. So the more options for Jurgen Klopp, the better. And it's in a lead going well as well. Big up there, Storm. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for tuning in. I watched the training today. Both Ramsey and Bajcetic looking good after their injuries. I have such hope for Bajcetic this season. 100% dermatized. I think there's been a lot of talk really over the last week about Lavia. But let's not forget the very special player we've got on our hands in terms of Bajcetic as well. I think if you're a top Spanish side in Europe or one of the big clubs in Spain, you're looking at Bajcetic going, oh, potentially could be going to a big Spanish side in the future. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong there. But Liverpool, if he does continue his progression, it was very much a baptism of fire last season against Real Madrid. But I think he dealt with it well, even though he looked like it was difficult at moments. But let's not forget the caliber of players in which he was playing a lot against, first and foremost. So, yeah. And obviously that goal again was at Aston Villa when he got his first goal. Little 1-2, broke into the penalty area and scored. And that's hopefully, but Matthias, as we already said on tonight's stream, we don't want to be rushing these players back. When they come back or when they're back in the starting 11, that's very much when we should play them, when they are 110% bloody fit anyway, because we've been here, done that for the last 4 or 5 years where we've rushed players back and then they've been injured for 6 months and it's like, whoa, what are we doing? So that's an important key role that we need to do. Could Curtis Jones progress as a player, be a vital key part to us potentially challenging and maybe winning us the league? Andrew, yeah, it's every player has to play their part, in all honesty, as we all know, in terms of chipping in with goals, assists, clean sheets. It's very much a team collective. But when we all speak about City and what they do so well, they have so many top talented players, as we know. But a lot of their players, you look at Foden, as I mentioned before, you look at Mahrez chipping in, Alvarez, Haaland, Gundogan from a central midfield role, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri chipping in with goals. Every single one of them. Of course, Haaland takes all the headlines. But a lot of their team just get so many goals. And it just eases the burden off quite a lot of the other players around them anyway. But that's where the bar where Liverpool really need to reach. And I know we can reach that bar, but it's going to be difficult. But we take one game at a time and we'll find out where we are come what the end of May. Hopefully, it's in a much better position in which we did find ourselves a good 2 months ago anyway. Big up there, Paul. Do you think Liverpool will sign another player? I've got my fingers crossed. Yes and no, Paul. I think it's heavily dependent on players going out the football club, as we know. In terms of, obviously, loosening the purse strings in terms of wages as well, it's going to be difficult. A lot of talk in the last week has been about potentially Thiago leaving in the opposite direction, but obviously we've already seen the pictures today, and obviously Fabrizio Romano's spoken quite heavily about Thiago's situation. As it stands, Thiago wants to stay at Liverpool Football Club for the remainder of his contract. And if Thiago's fit, as I said, I don't want to be seeing Liverpool give him a new contract because it's very difficult to keep Thiago fit, first and foremost, as all Reds know. We've been there, done that with Ox and Naby. So, yeah, yes and no, Paul. I think if we can not get rid of a player just for the sake of getting rid of a player, but if a sizable and an acceptable bid comes in for one of our fringe players, then potentially could see a bit of movement in the transfer market. But as I said, Paul, the more quiet it is, I think the better for Liverpool, because we don't want to be airing our dirty laundry in terms of our transfers, transfer news or speculation, and doing what we done when we bloody signed Virgil van Dijk. Like, the whole world knew we were getting Van Dijk, and we were tapping him up as well, and that didn't really go well. So the more quiet it is, the better. As we spoke about last week, Fulham, that's dead in the water. I think I'll be very surprised if Liverpool get him. But when you listen to all the respected journalists over the last week, it's interesting that I think it looks like Liverpool potentially have put that in the back burner. But as I said, the less chatter, the better for Liverpool in terms of them doing their business. Well, big up there, Carl. How are we, matey? Hope you have a good weekend, mate. And how was everyone Saturday evening? Everyone's bloody 7:30. About 9:30. What's it, 7:30? That was about a couple of hours ago, lad. But big up there, Carl. Massive thank you for tuning in, mate. Only asked because we've got Curtis, Harvey, and Stefan as well. And Paul, that's a spot on point, mate. And when you analyse Liverpool's age, I've not got the official age chat. You'll probably know anyway. You've probably done the calculations, but you look at the youth in this team as well. You look at Gakpo. You look at Lucho Diaz. I think he's like 25. I think Lucho is as well. So obviously, Salah's the main senior one, but you got Kanata, you got Elliott, you got Jones, you've got Sabuzlai coming in as well, McAllister, the real core of this team. Kelleher, if he does stay at the football club, a very top talent as well. Yeah, there's so much quality, as you alluded to there, Paul. It's only done especially we can hopefully this season we perform much better than our levels than we did see last season, mate. But if we can hopefully win in the next 12, 16, 18 months anyway, with this young core of a team, it's only going to grow in terms of confidence, in terms of growing in quality as well. And especially at a young age, look at that great Barcelona side, look at Man United. But when top teams win at a young age, it just builds momentum for the years to come anyway. Of course, there's going to be Manchester City in the way. They'll always be there. Man United, when they eventually get their house in order, I think they'll be another 2-3 years down the line for challenging anywhere close to Liverpool or Manchester City. Look at Arsenal as well. They would have learned a lot, first and foremost, about the experience, the expectations. Even when I've been speaking to my Arsenal mates as well, they were like, what's it, at the beginning of the year, what's it like being in competition? They got, 10 games into the Premier League season, and they were messaging me going, this is tiring. And I was like, yeah, it is. It's literally relentless when you are coming up head to head against Manchester City, because they are the juggernaut in the Premier League, and you've got to, yes, we speak about their wealth of talent within their team, but talent only goes a certain way. It's about how you apply yourself from game to game to game to game and just continue winning. And especially that cycle in which Liverpool did find themselves last season, chat. Especially when the team's playing so bad, and when you're looking around your changing room, and especially probably, I'd say it was probably one of Jurgen Klopp's most difficult moments last season, especially when you got senior figures in that changing room looking at each other, arguing amongst each other, and they're not really getting the answers that they're craving, really. And they're like, what we're usually doing, it's not working. But that was all down to Jurgen Klopp and the technical staff, and obviously everyone at the beginning of the back season. I wouldn't say we very much didn't, well, we just slightly recovered last season, but it was massively below the expectations in which a club of the stature of Liverpool Football Club, the expectations really were shocking, really. But if I was to pick one, Paul, potentially it would be potentially Thiago, but I don't anticipate him leaving. But as Matthias said there, if Thiago leaves and obviously get a decent amount of money, I think Liverpool will sign another midfielder other than the Southampton. Southampton will have to come down on the price for Lavia if LFC will sign him. But Matthias, it will be interesting, mate, if Liverpool do get Lavia or if we don't. One thing that we've learned in recent weeks is Liverpool won't get bullied in terms of transfer negotiations. A long time ago, we might have, but at the end of the day, we've done it in the last 12 months. If we don't want a target, we'll just walk away, really. Or if our top talent targets in terms of Tchouaméni and Jude, we got turned down by them. They went to Real Madrid because it is Real Madrid. It's not like you've gone to Stockport County or something like. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, Matthias. It's like a game of chess or a bit of poker, really. Both clubs are going. Who wants what? How much do you want for who? But yeah, if it comes, as we know, Southampton, as we've seen with a lot of clubs in the last couple of seasons, it suits the selling club if there's a bidding war. But Liverpool, I think themselves, wouldn't really want to get into a bidding war because then you'd be looking at stupid prices. And that's very much what everyone goes about Manchester City falsely putting a bid in or putting a bid in for Declan Rice. But Manchester City knew their price limit. Even Manchester City have a price limit on certain players. They knew he wasn't valued any more than what they were bidding. So fair enough. But it'll be interesting to see how that does pan out. Obviously, we know he's going to Arsenal, Declan Rice, but in terms of the next couple of months, next 6-12 months, I think a lot more of that will come out in terms of what happens in relation to bids and whatnot. But big up there, Henry. Hope you are well. Henderson looks absolutely shredded before this new season. The boxing training seems to have made him a new man anyway. The new midfielders, Matthias, very much so, have made him. And speaking of Jordan, big up there, mate. That's completely forgot about that in relation to what we were going to speak about tonight. He looks like he's putting in the work like you would expect in terms of being Liverpool captain anyway. Some of the stuff I've read, like I've just logged off Twitter this week, chat as well. I just put it on mute and just don't even open the app anyway because it was absolutely disgusting. Everyone's got their opinions on Henderson, and I've said on record as well over the last couple of months as well, I don't think Jordan Henderson should be in Liverpool's main starting 11. And we all know, every Liverpool fan knows themselves, even Jordan Henderson himself knows he's probably not the first name on the team sheet. But let's not forget what this fella's won for Liverpool Football Club as well, and what potentially could win in the future. He's going to be picking up, as we all know, he will be picking up the Milner role. As much as he dislikes that, he's got to accept where his position does lie in the football club anyway. But yeah, some of the stuff, it's mad. Really would like a centre-back. Timber would have been perfect. He'd been missed out by getting him. Time will tell, Carl. I think many players have been linked to Liverpool, and you look back on it and go, we've dodged a bullet there. But it'll be an interesting one, Carl, because you look at, he was linked for Manchester United for 2-3 years. Obviously, Erik ten Hag going to Manchester United, I think that would have been one of his targets that he would have wanted. Really read that one, mate. Big up there. Big up there, Kay. How are we, mate? Big up there, lad. So, Buzzlight, I'll tell you what, chat. I'm still buzzing about Sir Buzzlight, mate. Big up there, Kay. Hope you had a good weekend, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Big up there, Tom Izzy. Big up, matey. Oh, morning, Tom Izzy. I hope you're well, mate. Massive thank you for tuning in. Chat, just let us know. Obviously, we'll just be a little talk about Anderson. Don't want to dwell too much into it because you're there. But one thing that I wanted to speak about, and one thing that done my absolutely head in, what are Liverpool's retail getting at it with this kit, chat? Or was it reversible sports vest? I'll tell you what, if you want to do green screen on the move, that is a fantastic shirt. Yeah, that's that is a mad. I tell you what is it? You go out for a pint with the lads and you're wearing that. Jesus, imagine you get absolutely terrorized. 80 bloody quid as well. 80 quid for the vest. Yeah, as long as it funds our next transfer, fair enough. If every single Red buys that and Liverpool submit an £80 million bid for Levi Caldwell, then fair enough. But 80 quid. Yeah, let us know your thoughts on that, chat. Would you be seen out of the house in that? I don't think I would. Don't think so. Big up there, Tom Izzy. Tom Izzy has more yellow cards than goals and assists put together as well. Time to move him on. I'd agree there, Carl. Thoughts on Levi Caldwell? As I said, Kay, not seen a lot of him, mate. But in terms of obviously in the tournament, I did watch the final, but he was absolutely tremendous, apart from giving away the penalty this evening for Spain. But yeah, he's, as I said, he's very well respected in terms of European football. I anticipate him to stay, Kay, at Chelsea, unless a 70, 80 million pound bidding come from one of the big teams. But he certainly ticks the boxes. He's a left-footed centre half, and he very capable of playing at a free back. So, as I said, mate, not seeing a lot of him, but if Liverpool anticipated him to go for it, and we put a bid in for him, then if Jurgen Klopp feels he's capable of playing for Liverpool Football Club, it looks like, as I said, not seeing a lot of him, but the small glimpses they have today and in certain highlights on Match of the Day and that for Brighton last season, he's certainly a player that has got interesting attributes that can very much thrive in a Jurgen Klopp system anyway. So, Kate, what's your thoughts on him, mate? I mean, more bothered about what you think, mate, and chat, let us know. I think Thiago has one last contract in him with another club. Yeah, Henry obviously got a year left at the back end of his contract will run out next season, the season coming anyway. So will be time to tell. I rate both Inacio and Antonio Silva over Timber as a central defender. Timber is, however, more versatile. Obviously, I think he can play right back as well. Timber, as I said, Matthias, I do watch a lot of international football as well throughout the week or whatnot, throughout the season. But as I said, I'm not going to sit here and say I watched every bloody game for Inacio. But he's certainly for the good scouts out there in terms of Liverpool's community of Reds, in terms of fan base. He's one certainly Inacio that ticks the boxes. He's one that he's a young thing. He's like 20, 21 years old. I think, and plus he's got a buyout clause as well, which will be interesting to see the least anyway if a team does trigger that in Inacio. But one to keep an eye on. All good, Henry. Hope you had a good week. Big chat. If you listen to Twitter, Mbappe is, oh yeah, Carl. I've done an Mbappe video, and I'll tell you what, it's very good for the algorithm. But yeah, I'll be made up when he eventually signs for Real Madrid, and we can put to bed these rumours, because that's what they are, the rumours. But we love a cheeky Mbappe rumour to Liverpool. But yeah, if Liverpool signed Mbappe, it would liquidate the football club. Let's just say that at least anyway. Yeah, never done it happen in a million years. Carl, I'd agree. I want him at Liverpool, but I don't think it will happen due to the asking price. Okay, what's the asking price, mate? As I've been a bit out the loop this week anyway. Have Chelsea stated, or is there a well-respected journalists, has there been a fee that's very much come out, mate? Let us know. Good to hear, matey. Thank you for tuning in. Good to hear. That is god awful. Yeah, what we're saying on this Vest chat. Spain are not that great tonight. England should have had more than one, in my opinion. Big up there, Henry. But I'll tell you what, Gabri Veiga, he's one that has been linked to Liverpool. We spoke about it on the channel. Yeah, I don't like that, chat. For 80 quid, imagine going out with the boys for a pint with a bevy or whatnot. That'd be getting lashed in the bin within the first 5 minutes by the boys. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You just know someone's gonna do a video on YouTube or whatnot wearing that in it. But yeah. Mad. Yeah. Chat. I don't think you're fans of this anyway. The new away kit. Looks like someone lost their bet back in the 90s. Yeah, it's mad. Bloody awful. I'm not getting it. I wouldn't pay £1 for it. Chat. I'll tell you what. But people get paid thousands of pounds for these Nike designers. If anyone's watching, come on, you can do better than that. Come on. Like, I'll tell you what, if you wore that, you wouldn't go missing on a night out. I'll tell you that now. Even if your mates had about 20 pints under them, you're like, "Oh, there he is, lad." But yeah, you'd certainly not go missing if you wore that anyway. But that is horror. We'll never get anything like that. It's mad. 80 quid as well, chat. We're not talking like 40 quid. We're talking 80 quid. Ridiculous. Yeah. Carpet looks like spare carpet as well. The new home kit I actually like, but that away kit is a horror show. He's not a fan of the away kit. Yeah, as chat's already alluding to anyway. Did you see the reception Bobby got in Saudi? Yeah, it's sad. Redbirds. I'm fuming about the security, mate. I am absolutely fuming about the security in terms of Bobby. I think all of us the excitement around any player signing for any football club, but it was a bit mad. He took it really well, Bobby, because it was mad. There was no security. Could have got really. It was very overwhelming for the player anyway. But I'm hoping it was sad, chat. It was mad, obviously, that announcement video as well. But we all love Bobby, Liverpool legend, as we know. Yeah, sad. Moving on from Bobby anyway, because I end up bloody crying. 200 million euros, low for Mbappe, ridiculous money, mate. Unpopular opinion, unpopular to say this, but I feel Thiago's been a flop, and the main reason we struggle, he slows us down too much. Such a shame because he is a good player, but not for us. You know what, Carl? I'd agree with you, mate. I'd agree with you. And I've said this since he's coming to Liverpool. I didn't quite understand. I think the point Liverpool were trying to get was he was a very different player to what Liverpool very much did have. As you said there, Carl, it was quoted a couple of years ago. He turned around and said, Jurgen's made me learn how to run as a player. But that's not what Thiago's all about. He's about controlling the game, as we all know. Controlling the tempo, dictating play, making players move around him, and very much making the opposition players move around him. So, for me, Carl, he's been very underwhelming since he's coming to Liverpool. We knew he was going to be injured, and we spoke about that when we signed him anyway. We've done countless videos saying we knew what we were getting. We knew we were getting a very injury hit Thiago, as we know his career has been in the last 10 years anyway. I don't think he's complete, apart from like 2-3 seasons in his career, he's completed over 38 games in a calendar season or something like that, which is mad. But yeah, I think you'd be very surprised, Carl. A lot of people might agree with it in the chat, mate. But yeah, as Redbird said there, spot on, Carl, about Thiago as well. Yeah, certainly. Well, even if you're a modern day footballer, chat as well. Well, Jurgen doesn't wear his glasses, which is weird. It took me a good 6 months to actually look at Jurgen and go, whoa. But it's amazing when you got lots of money in it. It's reliable, can show a pic of what we reserves. It's reversible. Right, I'll try and find that Redbird. Chat. Well, are we putting bets onto what it looks like? Maybe 1 second here, chat. I'll try and get it up on Liverpool's website. Liverpool. Reverse. That's amongst each other. There we go. Liverpool. There we go. So 80 quid. Have they got a picture of? Oh, that's much better. Chat, hang on. Can I share that screen? How do I share this? Oh, how do I share it? I know how to do it. Hang on. Maybe 1 second. This is much better, chat. The other reversible colour. I'll tell you that now anyway. Let's remove that. Maybe 1 second there, chat. So that is the reversible. So you've got that on the back. Hello, work, change. Come on, Liverpool. Yeah. Can you see that, chat? I think Liverpool's site's crashing. There's that many people trying to look at it. At work. Hello. Yeah, well, you can see that chat anyway. But yeah, what are we saying? What are we saying there, chat? bit of an absolute madness, in all honesty. Well, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments on that chat. Absolutely mental, to say the least, anyway. Let's get back to that screen. Hang on. I'll be over there. There we go. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that chat. 80 quid. Very steep. There we go, the Anfield Lark. Get in, Jones and Elliott. Happy days, mate. Happy bloody days. Let us know your thoughts on all tonight's stories as well, everyone. Make sure you are smashing that like button as well, everyone. Massively helps out the stream as well. Gets it out to more Reds. But Kay, I think Caldwell is the perfect fit for that left centre-back role. Chelsea wants a record fee if he was to be sold, around 70, 80 million. He has 2 years left on his deal as well. Interesting, that, Kay. I'll tell you what, it's the premium. You look at John Stones when he left Everton. What was it, 50 million? Pocket change, really, for the player that he got now. What has he won? 4 or 5 league titles anyway. But there's always that added premium, probably too much of a premium on any English player. The valuation of English players has gone through the roof astronomically in terms of the last 2 years anyway. But when you look at the fee in which, chat, was John Stones a buyout? Was that like a buyout? Or I think when I can remember, it was him and Sterling that was a City that same window or same period of time, really around the similar time. But yeah, 50 million at that time was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But when you think about it now, the fees that are just getting branded around the whole of Europe, 80 million, 70 million, what you are buying there, Kate, is potential. So time will tell, mate. Time will tell. But yeah, definitely there, Carl, say the least anyway. So if he doesn't sign a new deal this summer, they could cash in. Definitely there, Kate. But I think even if he went down to a year on his contract, mate, you'd still getting Chelsea. You look at, as we spoke about Mbappe as well. Was it Mbappe's got a year left on his contract? And I think he's Paris Saint-Germain are desperately running around the offices in Paris at the minute, trying to get him to sign a new deal. But I'll tell you what, Mbappe will leave PSG on a free transfer and he'll get a massive load of dough to sign on, really, in terms of for Real Madrid. We all know he's got Real Madrid. Getting Jones, big up there, matey. I think most of us agree with your comment, Carl. Yeah, as Panov said there, mate, you're spot on with the Thiago comment, mate. All pre-season games are on LFC Go. Yeah, Henry, well, the first day back this season, there's a couple of players, of course, on in holiday currently still, quite rightly so, because it's been a very busy last 12 months for all of them, especially with the World Cup. Yeah, I agree with Thiago's situation. He should be sold. 67 games missed since joining us. Yeah, big up there, Carl. Great statistic there. Well, I'd say not great, but in terms of just indicates massively where we all feel about Thiago, mate. That's ridiculous if you think about it, mate. Is he on like 200k a week as well, Thiago? It's not like he's on. Fair enough, he was on like 50, 70k. You can maybe go, sounds it. You're getting your money's worth, but when you're getting 200 grand's worth of midfielder, that's what, 2 midfielders from another league, or like 2 youngsters, or maybe a senior big player. There's a Sabuzlai, I think he went on to 100 to 150k a week. And that's on what, like a 5-6 year deal anyway. So yeah, that's Thiago wage. You're not just saving for the next couple of years, you're saving currently as well. Big wages, big outlay in the next couple of years as well. But yeah, it looks and the birds flew aside as well. Now it looks like a bulletproof vest as well, Panov. I'll tell you that now with the new vest. It looks a bit better, but you can still see the trim in the inside of it, can't you? Yeah, I'll quickly get that up for anyone just tuning in, wondering what we're talking about in terms of that anyway. Yeah, that. In terms of Anfield Lark, we up, matey. If we got an offer for Thiago, would take it and get a fresher player in. Jones is looking the better now, 100% there, mate. I made up. I think all of us are chats. That's what of course, we want our players to succeed. Give them every chance to very much play well in a Liverpool shirt. But yeah, him and Elliott, as I said at the top of the show, as we all know, they've had their injuries. Curtis Jones had weird injuries over the last 12 years. Was it one of them was like an eye injury? It's just weird. And especially, you need to be seeing where you're going first and foremost with Jones anyway. So, yeah, it's not like he could have been playing with one eye. It would have been extremely difficult. With that injury as well. If I could be the devil's advocate regarding, big up there, Matthias, as I said, everyone's views, get them in. We want to be seeing different views regarding Thiago. I would say there is just some players that rise to their best in really important matches and a lot that don't. Thiago is one of those. Yeah, there's no doubting Matthias, and you're spot on there, mate. And I think all of us would agree he's a hugely talented player. But you'd expect him to be a bit more injury free. I know everyone will go, how old is he, chat? Is he 21, 22 years old as well? He's not getting any younger, but 100% understand where you're coming from there, Matthias, and big up, mate. Thank you for that comment. Better player now, 100% there in relation to Jones there, mate. If we had to buy Jones from another English, and that's a great point, mate, as we spoke about at the top of the show, mate, the Anfield Lark, if we had to buy Jones from another English club now, he'd got to be worth 35 million plus, 100%, mate. When you look at, is it the young lads, Ramsey from Aston Villa? I think obviously he did get injured early on in the tournament, which is disappointing. But obviously the players tonight very much did show their backing. And yeah, it's all about young players coming in from England or any top European side in terms of the international stage. It's about getting them the opportunities in the main international team as well. So time will tell, mate. Bright future, as we all know. Can't we offer Chelsea Gomez and 30 mil? I hope they, but yeah, and that's another debate for another night. Carl, we've already spoke. Well, we'll do a show. I think we've already done a show with Gomez. Yeah, we spoke about it. Was it me, Kev, and Nigel as well? And a couple of last week we spoke about that, mate, heavily. But let us know your thoughts on that, Carl, because that is a big debate. Because I don't want to go rant about Gomez because he is very similar. There's a player there, but the last 12 months, I think he's disappointed himself. And I made up to see him in pre-season because he alleviates massively. Like, we wouldn't be in this situation in terms of wanting centre-halves if Joe Gomez was playing at his peak level. Last season, he only had one good game, and that was against Manchester City. It's the inconsistent levels that Gomez does show that frustrates many a Liverpool fan, me included as well, because there's a player in there, but it's like when we won the league as well, he was so important in that league win. He was probably the best centre-half in certain sections of that season as well. So even Joel Matip, let's tell you what, if we do lose Matip, the end of this coming season, we have got to shell out a lot of money on a centre-half because Joel Matip, he's probably been he is my probably favourite player. I love him as a personality, but what I love most about him is his footballing ability as well. Fundamentally, when you look around centre-halves in Europe, he comes out at the back, steps into midfield with so much ease. But when we all watch Matip, even when you're in the ground, you're like, what do you do with Joel? Because he's about 6'5", 6'6". He's very unorthodox when he goes about his his business in terms of his centre half. But he's a hugely talented centre half, and the fact that we got him on a free, ridiculous in all honesty. But big up there, Aaron. How are we, matey? LFC selling bulletproof vest now. Yeah, ridiculous. I quickly present that for everyone just tuning in now. But yeah, it is reversible, chat. But yeah, for anyone just jumping in now that did miss it, this is the other reversible colour. So that's a bit more acceptable. But for 80 quid, I'd hope that vest was made out of diamonds for 80 quid, mate. I'll tell you that now, chat. Absolutely mental, to say the least, anyway. What button have I pressed here? Oh, wrong one. There we go. Never give McKindo the buttons, as we know. So yeah, bit of a mad one to say the least, chat. Let me know if you'll be going out to LFC retails, or if you're going and buying that. Fair enough if you're getting it, but yeah. But yeah, big up there, Aaron. Massive thank you for tuning in, mate. I hope you all have a fantastic Saturday, or whatever you're all going. If you're going out with your mates or whatnot, look after yourselves, or just chilling with the family. Massive, really do appreciate you tuning in this evening, chat. Just the chilled one, relaxed one, anyway, one really. But yes, in terms of big up there, Aaron, just everyone saying hello. Jack, who's your front three? Aaron and Kay in chat. Let us know. I'll pose that question back at you, Kay. Who's your front three for next season? I think when we've done shows in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of panelists as well. I've had Lucho Diaz on the left, Gakpo through the middle, and Mohamed Salah on the right hand side for me, Kay. Chat, let us know who's your forward three. And then I tell you what, when you've got Nunes, hopefully he comes into a lot more better form. Not to say that he was bad last season, bloody hell. Man didn't even know English and he was still banging in goals. And especially if you're trying to understand Scousers in the team as well. I know you have a very hard time understanding me half the time. It's not going to be easy. Darwin trying to get instructions off Trent and Curtis and the boys. But yeah, for me, I'd go Lucho on the left, Gakpo through the middle, and Salah. But I'm so excited, Kay and chat. Like, if you think about Klopp having a full pre-season, a proper pre-season, not like the nonsense we had last season in terms of the bloody World Cup in the middle of the season. Ridiculous. We had like 2 mini pre-seasons, wasn't it? It was stupid. But yeah, let us know, Kay or Chad. Let us know your forward three for next season. But that'll be my forward three. But Jota would be interesting if he comes into form as well. Plus, yeah, imagine no other team, well, apart from Manchester City and probably Real Madrid, I'd say, was it Real Madrid? They used to have Benzema, Vinny, Rodrigo. You just signed that young Turkish lad, haven't you, Chat? Not seen a lot. Is it a Turkish central midfielder or attacking midfielder anyway? From was it Galatasaray or Besiktas or one of the top teams in Turkey? Anyway, there was a lot of clamouring for the signature. Must be a half decent player if Real Madrid are coming after you. I disagree that Thiago, when you DP what he has done for us overall, not much in my opinion. I don't care how classy a player it is. It doesn't help the team when he's just a luxury player. I'd agree there, Redburn. I think a lot of us would agree as well. One thing that Chelsea have is Badiashile, who is left-footed left-footed centre back. So maybe Caldwell will put a transfer request in if he doesn't think he'll get enough game time. Yeah, one player that gets to me, chat as well, that has been at Chelsea for absolute years, and I don't understand why he's not left. Probably the main reason is because he's getting paid a massive wedge of money, and like all of us, if you sat on the bench or even in the stands, as much as you're a young player, but the crazy money that is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Like one player that has baffled me for the last couple of seasons. Did he go on loan? I think was it Leverkusen last season. But if you're Callum Hudson-Odoi, just leave Chelsea. Go somewhere in Europe. You look at obviously Sancho when he was playing well at Dortmund prior to his move to Man United. You look at Tammy Abraham at Roma last season, playing extremely well prior to his injury. And there's probably a lot of other. Madueku, obviously the young lad that played for England tonight. I think he come through the academy at PSV. I might be wrong there, apologies if I'm chat. But he obviously Chelsea recently just signed him in the January transfer window. And I'm probably missing someone very obvious. Jude Bellingham, for example. Completely weird. But Jude Bellingham left Birmingham, left their academy. Well, didn't leave the academy. He was playing for their, obviously, first team. He retired their shirt number. And he's got a big move to Real Madrid. And he was one of the established first names on the team sheet for England over the last 12 months. So, yeah, for me, if I was a young England player that had a lot of talent and a lot about myself, I'd go to another club in Europe. Not probably, even like you look at PSV, even a Roma or a club and just getting first team football. But that's what Callum Hudson-Odoi should be doing for me, really. Go away from Chelsea. Doesn't matter about the money. Go back to fundamentally what made you a footballer, and that's just playing, enjoying your football. But yeah, let us know your football on that. The Anfield Live will be interesting. That's the thing in a chat. Chelsea just stockpile a load of youngsters. And there was I don't know the rule change anyway, but there was certainly some rule changes that have very much forced Chelsea into selling quite a lot of their youth players. Well, they had to. Like, it was ridiculous what was going on. Chelsea were like stockpiling about, was it 30 odd youth players in the academy or in terms of the under 21 system, and just loaning them out and then getting fees for them. Reasonable would be acceptable if he had the badge as well. Yeah, Virgil van Dijk made Gomez look good. Sell him whilst we can get good money for him. And by Caldwell, respect your opinion there, Carl, as I said. But yeah, as I said, even if we played centre half against Van Dijk when he was playing at that top form, not saying that we could have kept a clean sheet, but certainly, I'd half agree with what you said there, Carl. He would bring out the best, but still a player in there, I'd hope. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be, I don't want us to be 6 months into next season and we've wasted another 6 months because we're waiting for someone to get back into form or injured or come back from injury anyway. A fully fit Jota as well, Aaron, 100% there, mate. So good, Jota. We've got bad options off the bench, Chas, when you're deep it. Like, if Núñez starts banging goals in, Salah gets his average 30 a season in all comps. Yeah, Lucho starts. Well, Lucho, was it when we signed him? He was, 16, 17 goals in the Portuguese league. So there's goals in there. Whether he can translate that into the Premier League, hopefully, even if he got 10, 15 goals in the Premier League, that would be massive. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Our attacking line is ridiculous. There's one problem with selling Gomez, who will be our second at right back now that Milner's gone, and that, Matthias, is a big point to why I think Gomez will stay at Liverpool Football Club. Was it last season Joe Gomez signed a new contract? I think the one thing Liverpool, as we know, were doing was protecting their assets, protecting the value of the player as well. Because you've seen with certain players run down their contracts, not just at Liverpool, but in recent seasons. You look at that. Well, you just look at this window. Like, in an ideal sense, yes, everyone has their rationale thinking about Naby. You know my feelings about Naby. I was fuming. If you spend 60, 70 million pounds on a player, and regardless if he's injured or whatnot, and you lose him on a free, any corner of the world in terms of business, don't know much about business, as you know, anyway, but there's probably better people placed. But if you think about it, you've lost him on a free. Even if he signed a new contract extension and we sold him off for 5-10 million, you're still making some money back off what you've paid on or you've outlaid as a football club anyway. I'll pick up their chat. Let us know your forward three for next season, chat, as Kay's said there. So Kay's front three would be Diaz, Jota, Salah. I think with Mac 10 and Szoboszlai signing, we don't need a false nine. Dropping deep, we have the creativity from midfield now. It's good enough. We have options. 100% there, mate. 100%. You're spot on. But Carl's great options, Kay. And that's what we've all been crying out for. If McAllister and Szoboszlai can stay fit, I think they will. Hopefully, 5 games into the season, we're like, oh my God, what are these players that we've signed in terms of just taking us to that next level? Very much so. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they all interchange, because as we know, as Kay said, call him Mac 10, McAllister, the Ginger Messi or whatever. He doesn't need no bedding in period going into next season, does he? So Szoboszlai potentially. I think if you're outlaying 60, 70 million pounds on a player, even though it was a loan or whatever it was, you're still getting the player, very talented player as well. He's very experienced. He's already played at Anfield 3 years ago for RB Leipzig. He's played a lot of games for RB Leipzig last season in terms of helping them win. I think it was the German FA Cup, the DPL. I think it is the German, the German FA Cup or German League Cup, whatever it's called anyway. But yeah, he's coming in with a lot of experience, a lot of quality. Who would you have, chat? Well, Carl, it's a great question. Not Nobby. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Whether, as we've all done countless shows as well, Carl, haven't we, chat? There's 3 questions that whether Liverpool go back to a 4-3-3, time will tell, but it's still certainly an option that we can do. Or we go to the formation with Trent with the inverted fullback role that we did see the back end of the season, where we've seen Jones in that bit more advanced role as well. So in terms of if Liverpool were playing a 3-2-2-3 formation, Carl, I'd go Trent alongside Fabinho in that bottom 4. And then ahead of him, I think we put McAllister there on the left, and then Szoboszlai in front of Trent as well. So that, but if I was going to be seeing Liverpool playing a 4-3-3 formation, I'd like to see Liverpool go, if Fabinho's in form, play him. And then you'd go with, if we were playing the 4-3-3, I'd go with McAllister and Szoboszlai. But it's options are the key way going to next season. It's tremendous. And it gives Liverpool so much more rotation as well. We can even play a 4-4-2 as well, chat. Szoboszlai is very adept at playing that right midfield role as well, which is options. Even Salah, Harvey, Elliott as well. It's ridiculous. It's only going to bode well for Liverpool going to the next couple of seasons anyway. I think Gakpo and Diaz rotate on the left. Jota and Núñez rotate as the strikers. 100% there, mate. Salah, there we go, Carl. Salah, Mbappe and Gakpo. Where are you playing? Well, I'd say Mbappe would play. Not that we're getting him chaffed, anyone just tuning in. I think his favourite position is down that left-hand side. Like, we done that watch-along, was it a couple of months ago for the World Cup? What a final, by the way. Ridiculous. Mbappe, he's unplayable at certain moments in games. Like that World Cup final. France put out with that, and then Mbappe turned up and said, not today. He scored, like, was it 3 penalties, chat? Ridiculous. I would add that the comment about Thiago, even though we've bought him at 29, I think his best years were already behind him. Interesting that, Henry. It is. But as I said at the top of the show, I anticipate Thiago to stay at the football club. I don't think any of us anticipate him, as much as it potentially would free up fees. But as I said, Thiago, you all know Fabrizio Romano. I think he said something earlier on today in relation to Thiago Alcantara, very much saying that he sees him content in staying at Liverpool, which is going to be interesting. Can't wait for Diaz to play all season. Yeah. And speaking of injuries, as we spoke about with Elliott and Jones as well, Canate and Gomez with their injuries, let's not forget Lucho come back from a very terrible injury. And when you think about it, chat, obviously when we won the league and the FA Cup, when he come in January, he was an absolute bloody menace. Teams didn't even know how to play against him. Like, was that shit? When we played Chelsea twice, in that, obviously, when we won the League Cup and the FA Cup that season, he was just absolutely terrorising Chelsea. He's just one of those players that you know what he's going to do in terms of just stretch teams. He was just running constantly down that left-hand wing. And that's what you want. You want him to be a pest in terms of a very good way, in terms of just... And he can come inside as well. Was it the Crystal Palace game where he just absolutely banged it? I think it took a massive deflection anyway. But even still, he's got that eye for goal as well, even from a shot from range. Because the one thing that is massively exciting for Liverpool, as we've all spoke about when Liverpool announced Szoboszlai, is that shooting from range. Apart from Szoboszlai, I think maybe 1 or 2 players within that team have got that in their locker, but not from a consistent basis that Szoboszlai has. But Lucho was one of those players that can offer the unpredictability for Liverpool in certain elements, in certain games, certain passages of play. But I'm excited, Carl. Should be good. Levi Caldwell earns 15k a week, so not a massive wage. That's why Brighton could afford to loan him last season. Yeah, scary money. Well, I'd say that's acceptable for a player at his age. It's only not acceptable when you're at a club like Manchester United, who literally and even Arsenal, I'll put into the same umbrella in terms of just offering obscene amount of money. But that's football, and that's the climate in terms of Premier League and European football we do find ourselves in. But like you look at, don't be wrong, Saka's a tremendous player, but they've set the precedent now, Arsenal. Say if they want to give him a new contract, say in 2 years, and there's a lot of more interest from other clubs around Europe, they're looking to give what? Saka? Saka's probably got another 2 contracts in his career, or probably even 3, depending on if he stays at Arsenal. What are Arsenal eventually going to be giving him? 600, 700k a week in a couple of years' time? It's ridiculous. But yeah, Matthias, wages are a big thing for many players, of course. Was hoping Ramsey could be covered right back. Yeah, Carl. It's difficult to see him come back into this Liverpool team now. But if he stays fit, I think he will get loaned out. I'd like him to see him go back into a top championship team or even a Premier League team if he's given the opportunity. Me too, Carl. Imagine the ball being sent through with McAllister and Sobo behind them. It's going to be scary if we sign Colwell. That will be he will be a brick wall as well. With Virgil van Dijk, I think it massively depends in terms of going to next season, chat, because you all see my predictions. Shocking. I think he only got one team right in my predictions, and that was the Ev. I think he had them finishing like 17. Is it 18 for, well, 16 for 17, whatever the rubbish finished. But yeah, I had Liverpool. I think a lot of people did have Liverpool challenging, especially me. But probably the most disappointing thing to come out of this last season, chat, let us know if there was one thing that really disappointed, apart from the shocking performances, but let us know if there was one point that you picked out last season, what that disappointed you the most. Was it an individual player that you wanted to see more? For mine, it was Virgil, because when we done our watch-alongs in terms of the World Cup, we were all saying after the tournament or prior to the tournament, Virgil has got the World Cup on his mind. He's thinking too much about leading Holland to the World Cup. 3 weeks pass, Holland get knocked out. World Cup's over. 2 weeks into the Premier League season after the World Cup is over and done with. Van Dijk is the same Van Dijk that we had last season. Of course, he's had his injuries and all that, but I come into last season with the expectation of Virgil van Dijk. When Virgil's playing at his top level, Liverpool are capable of winning Champions Leagues and winning Premier Leagues. But whether Virgil van Dijk can come back to those levels, I hope and pray that he can still do that. And I'm fully capable. I think he can still do it. But time will tell. I'll tell you what, if in the next 2-3 years where Liverpool did need to replace Virgil van Dijk, whether that be in terms of bad form or just in terms of fatiguing as a player, you're looking at what, 70 to 100 million pounds? And at this moment in time, there's not that a lot of, and when I mean top class centre halves, chat, you look at like the Eaders, the Terrys, the Ferdinands, the Vidiches, like the Campbells as well, like that era, I mean, like the 2000s as well, the early 2000s, 2010s, like there were so many great legendary centre halves, like at that moment in time as well. You look at Nesta, Maldini's, the Beressis, like you're going a bit further back anyway, but you look at that period. But now, for me, chat, there's not that many top tier when you think about it. Like there might be probably about 5-10 at a push, like top centre halves. But when you're shopping in that bracket, what Liverpool, like Man City and the Real Madrids, when you're shopping in that 0.5% bracket in terms of trying to get those players, it's all about Liverpool selling the club in the right notion, really, in terms of the next 5-6 years. Anyway, we need to replace Van Dijk. Hopefully we don't, and he stays at Liverpool and he's playing his top football. And I hope he still does that. And I'm confident he still can do that at the age of 34, 35. And he relies on the pace around him to very much do the job. But it's probably one of the biggest questions in the next couple of years, what Liverpool do with Virgil. Not get rid of him, but in terms of how he adapts, in terms of his playing style as a player anyway. I agree with that midfield, Jack. Big up there, Kay. If we keep Thiago, I would play him in the Europa and Cups only so he lets go the league and the rest of the players as well. Big up there, Daz. Big up, matey. I have an FPL league if you want to join, Jack, lads. Yeah, it does. I will be starting. I said that last season, didn't I, chat? I will be doing a weekly EFPL review show as well, chat. I know a lot of you do love your fancy football, but that will be a weekly show, and I will stick to it this season. That will be on the calendar for this new season because I need to keep up to date. I'm one of them people that just forgets about it, and then 3 months into the season, I've got players playing centre half when they've been injured for 2 months. So Daz, big up there, mate. I'll definitely get you to losing to home with Leeds with the biggest for me. Yeah, definitely, mate. Big up there, Carl. But as I said, we'll conclude, chat. It's been an absolutely fantastic live stream. Shout out to chat as well. Big up Carl, big up Daz, big up Kay, big up Aaron as well. Big up Henry, big up Matthias, big up Redbird, big up the Anfield Lark, big up Aaron as well. Big up lads and ladies. Absolute legends. But if you are watching on the repeat and you're still watching till now, you're bloody legends. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. If you haven't already done so, before we do shoot off, smash that like button. Massively helps out in terms of the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, the final concluding, recapping, our lads won the under-21 European Championships with England and made up for them. You've got a bright future ahead of them, but they are currently still the future and the present for Liverpool as well. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, they are absolute bloody diamonds at the football club, and I cannot wait to see their potential career progression in the next couple of years in the red shirt as well. But Reds, have a lovely rest of your Saturday evening, everyone. Really do appreciate you all taking the time out to drop in as well. Big up there, Panov, as well, matey. As I said, absolutely bloody legends for keep on clicking on the shows, mate. And apologies about the stream as well, chat, over the last, well, 2 previous streams. A lot of people won't know that we tried to do streams twice already this evening. Didn't work. But nice one there, Carl. But big up there, Kay. As I said, everyone, have a lovely rest of your night. If you're going out and about, look after yourselves. Enjoy it. What is it? Don't be going out in this. What is it? That one. I swear, we don't even having words, chat. I don't think anyone would let anyone know if anyone bought this, chat. I'll tell you. If you go in the club shop, get the home kit. Don't be getting that. Yeah, chat. But let us know. Chat, have a lovely rest of your night. A massive thank you for tuning in this evening. Even if you popped in and said hello. Massive, really do appreciate it. Lads, ladies as well, have a lovely rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. Look after yourselves. And there will be another show tomorrow evening as well. I'll try and get a couple of lads on. Just discuss, debate as well. And Reds, you never walk alone. Exciting times. The Reds are back in pre-season. The first day was today. And if you haven't, hang on, let's quickly get it. I'll post it in the link anyway, because I know not a lot of you, a couple of you might have missed it anyway. It was the pre-season one. Yeah, the inside Liverpool. Wait 1 second there, chat. I'll just copy that. If you have not seen it, go and check it out, chat, because we all love an inside Liverpool video. So, want something to watch tonight? Watch that. What is it? I think it's 10 minutes. Is it 10 minutes or 20-minute video? Happy days. Good to see our lads back in action. But Reds, have a lovely rest of your night. See you tomorrow at 7 p.m. the usual time. But Reds, and big up.